Hello everyone, my name is Nate Templeton, and today let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is a manga that started in 2018 and ended in 2024. The anime for it is still ongoing, with its latest installment being Season 3, The Calling Games Part 1. Now, I'm a fairly new fan of JJK. I started watching it while Season 3 was coming out, so I kind of jumped on the hype train. Yeah, I liked it so much that I ended up buying all the manga for it and reading up to the end. So, yeah, and I still liked it even after that and wanted to make a video about it. So here we are. Big shout out to Mac for suggesting I watch this, and yeah, nothing else to say. Let's get into it. Now, the way this video is going to work is I'm going to be talking about each season and the movie and going into the manga and my thoughts and feelings about all of it in its entirety. I'm not going to be really doing a deep dive into like each character or each arc. I'm kind of just going to be giving my review on all of it and rating it out of 10 for like each season and the movie, and then we'll get to the manga later. We'll talk about that later. But anyways, um, let's get it started with season one. Now, season one, I think, is a pretty normal first season to any anime. I think most of it is build up and set up for the future, and explaining cursed energy, the power system, the world, and the characters. I think nothing really crazy happens in season one like it does later on, and I think it's fine. It knows it is just set up and build up, and I think it does that well. Now it's not as memorable as the later stuff, but that makes sense. That's just how it is. It's just a normal progression of really like any piece of media. It's just the exposition and all of that. Now there are some highlights. Nanami. This is like the peak of Nanami. He is just. I think he's just the star of season one. I think he's amazing. And I mean, he does go on to season two, but unfortunately, we don't see him as much as we do in. I'm sorry, yeah, season two. But unfortunately, we don't see him that much as we do in season one. So I think he's the star of the show during the first season. I think another highlight is Junpei and that whole arc. I think it did a really good job of making me care about Junpei. I feel like he kind of, like I cared about him, even though he was there for a little bit. He had, a personality and all of that. And it was sort of like, oh, look, Yuji's made a friend. And it goes into my other point of it is like, this is where season one is kind of strange in that it's a slice of life in disguise. I feel like, you know, season one it has like Jujutsu Stroll and like, ooh look, it's like little oh my god I'm forgetting little Sukuna in the hot bath. Wow, so cute, so nice. And then it's Yuji's made a friend. His name is Junpei. He likes movies, and then he just dies in like the first 3 episodes that he's in. But anyways, that was another memorable thing. What's next? The Yuji and Toto fight, and basically the whole exchange. Some parts of the exchange, like some parts of the exchange, I think, is a big highlight. It's like my favorite. It's got to be like the best arc in season one because it introduces us to Kyoto and like all of that. We get to see everybody fight, and different fights are happening at the same time. All of that, and obviously Yuji and Toto versus Hanami, and just Hanami in general, is probably my favorite part of season one. It's not even close. I think, yeah, no, that it's just the best part of season one, and it doesn't really slow down with. I mean, well, it kind of does. You have the baseball episode, but forget about that. The last arc of the season being the brothers and Megami fighting the finger. God, what's it called? It's like the It's the weird fucking thing. But anyways, and like him getting his partial domain, like that was a great. I think that was a great thing, a great way to wrap it all up, and like wrap up season one's sort of normalcy. Like it having like a sort of normal arc, and also having like peak Kugasaki, basically like that was like her best performance was that last arc in season one. But I guess that's it about season one. But yeah, those are just some of the highlights. I think most of it isn't really too memorable. And then we get up to the movie. Oh, wait, no. My rating of season one. I think season one, I would give it a 6 point. No. I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think it does a really good job. I think it's unfair to, like, really compare it to, like, the peak that is season two, because I think it does a good job setting it up and building it up. But I mean, there are some. Yeah, I think it's just a clear 7 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 6.5. I think it reaches a 7. Next up, we got the movie, JJK Zero. Same thing about season one. I think it has a little bit, most of it is just setup and build up, and it makes sense. It's introducing a like second main character, many people say. Maybe many people call Yuta that. But it does it very differently in that it like kind of speed runs it, because it's not going to explain everything that it's already explained in season one. It does. I mean, it does call back a bunch of shit, but and I think Yuta's story is great. I feel like a lot of people compare Yuji and Yuta and are like, Yuji is so much better, which obviously, yeah, like he has had like so much more screen time and so much more like just character development than Yuta. Like Yuji had all of season one, and Yuta just had like the movie. So I don't think it's fair to really pit the two against each other. I think Yuta's just a great character, and it's unfortunate that he doesn't get as much screen shot. It's unfortunate that he doesn't get as much screen time. But I think it's sort of needed, especially for his power. I feel like he's. Yeah, I mean, he is, compared to Gojo a lot. Like, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, oh yeah. So just talking about it, talking about JJK Zero in a movie standpoint, I think it's a bit weird. It has a little bit of weird pacing. And it makes sense that it does, because I get it. It's an anime movie. It is sort of broken into bits, sort of like an episode, like they just molded episodes together. Is that bad? Not really, I guess. It's sort of like, I get it, it's an anime, like that's how like it was made in the manga, like just chapter by chapter. But like, and I get people might be like, it's an anime movie, that's just how they are. But unfortunately, I did watch the Chainsaw Man movie literally last night, and it did not have that problem at all. Like genuinely, like yeah, and I'll save a like actual genuine review of Chainsaw Man maybe in the future. But I'm just saying, like, it's possible to make an anime movie not like it's like episodes molded together. And I haven't watched Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer movie, but I've heard good, decent things. I don't know. But anyways, just looking at it from a movie standpoint, the pacing is a bit rough. But what else? Oh yeah, Maki is goated. This shows more of Maki, and I know she is shown a lot in season one, but I think the movie, just fleshes her out more. Really. I mean, it's already instilled that she hates the Zenin clan, but I think it showed a lot better in the movie, in my opinion. I think, like her just having that conversation with Yuta, I think it's amazing, and we will get back to that later. What else? I think Gato is fine in the movie. It's like, it's sort of, I mean, it's not necessarily vague posting. It's kind of, it kind of just all, it's sort of fully explained that he just hates all non-sorcerers and he wants to kill them all. But there's not really a clear motive yet. And I get, like, it's explained later, but for a movie, I kind of want to know what's happening. In season one, you do sort of have a vague post of like, oh, what is this guy? Like, what is this guy with the stitches on his forehead? Like, what the fuck is he doing? It's sort of just more setup and more build up, and I think it just isn't. It's an ice cream truck. An ice cream truck is going down my road right now. I don't know if you can hear that in the microphone. You know, I try to record a video in the first time for like 10 months, and now, out of all times, a fucking ice cream truck is driving it down my goddamn street. I just I really wanted to do this again. I really wanted to like try again. All right, anyways, where was I? I think I was talking about Gato. In the movie, I think it's fine. It's okay. It's just, you know, it leaves me questioning more. Um, and this kind of leads me to another thing of like Gojo in season one, and in the movie, it's like he's the strongest. And like he has the six eyes and the limitless technique. He's got like all of this. He's funny. He's this. He's that. I sort of, when watching like season one and the movie, I am kind of just sitting there being like, okay, Gojo's strong, I guess, but like I just want like character development. Like I want a backstory. I kind of want him to lose. Like I like he's so fucking strong and he's like this and he's that, but it hasn't really given anything for me to care about him. And I just like, just talk to me when you have like a traumatizing backstory, I guess. Okay, now it's time to get into peak. Hidden inventory, it doesn't get much better than this. It just doesn't. Um, like I guess I'm just gonna start at the beginning. The Meimei and Udahime intro, it's just awesome. Like it's a slow-paced intro. It's like sort of like a little bit of normalcy of like, oh, like they're, you know, like they're just going in this haunted house. But that doesn't fucking, that's not why I like it. It's that the ending of that like haunted house thing is Gojo saving them. It's like it shows that like Gojo is still that guy. He's been that guy. Um, and then you get to see Gojo and Gato's relationship and like how they are both the strongest at this time, and that they work together, and that they're amazing together, and that they're great together, and that what was I talking about? Oh yeah, uh, like when it comes to that, like it just shows that. It doesn't have to say it. It just shows that they are like actually what Gojo was saying, like best friends, and that like his only friend. Um, and like it has this simple, it gives us this all happens in episode one, by the way, which is amazing. Like it's such a great episode one. Uh, but like yeah, it shows, it says the mission of this whole arc is just protecting Rico and just getting her to Tengen, and that's it. Very simple. So it is so simple. They just have to protect her, and that's it. Um, and then I think this is still in the end of episode one. It shows Toji. It shows our bad guy of this arc. It shows the guy that's going, that we are gonna be scared about. But it's not like he just shows up and is like, you have to fight me, and then they fight for like 5 fucking episodes. It's like, okay, we're going to introduce him. We're going to be like, yeah, Fushiguro, it's Megami's father. Ooh. You are already interested in who he is. But then it just keeps going. The hidden inventory just keeps going. Like, it shows like Gojo and Gato and Rico, like uh, like just being like, I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to express just, them just living. They go to Okinawa, and they like have a great time, and Gojo and Gato are destroying, like absolutely clearing everyone that's trying to get to Rico and trying to get that bounty. And they are just destroying. It's awesome. It's so well paced as well. Like, it's just like a guy shows up, he spends his time in the show, and then he gets killed, and then that's it. It's not too short lived where it gets like off screened, like the old guy with the fucking dog or whatever. They spend their time perfectly. And then just the art style, the how beautiful hidden inventory is. Like, the opening in and of itself is just fucking beautiful and amazing. Then and then you sort of just forget about Toji, that the fucking guy that they introduce is going to be the bad guy of this arc. You sort of forget about him, and then boom, he's back, and you're like, okay, all right, this is the guy that we're supposed to be worried about. And then he fucking beats Gojo. Like, the first time we ever see Gojo get beaten in the show, it's like, oh shit, this guy's fucking serious. And then he successfully kills Rico and beats the shit out of Gato. It's like, and the maid. Sorry, I totally forgot about the maid. The maid is very nice as well. Like making us care about Rico more, giving us the backstory of that her parents are dead. But anyways, Rico just dies, and like they did such a great job just setting it up and making us care about all these characters, especially Gojo and Gato. Like it's just perfect. And then you have Gojo's run back and then beating Toji, and then like just Gojo and Gato splitting off. There's nothing else to say. I don't know how to like I don't know how else to word how peak hidden inventory is. It's just fucking perfect, man. I got nothing. It is a 10 out of 10. That arc is just a 10 out of 10. Showing Gato going insane, it making complete sense that he is going insane the way that he is. Like Gojo got the victory, but Gato still fucking lost. There's nothing else to say about it. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think it's just time to get into. I think it's just time to get into Shibuya, which is still insane. Like, Hidden Inventory and Shibuya being back to back is fucking insane. I cannot believe that these are both in the same season. But anyways, before we get into Shibuya, we do have to talk about the sort of mini arc that happens before we even get to Shibuya, is the Mekamaru and Mahito fight. I think it sort of slows down a little bit for me. Like, the interests and like the pacing, it sort of slows down with, like, it's like that. Like, it's like it goes back to the slice of life disguise that season one had, of like, oh, Kugisaki and Megami and Yuji are all, they're just friends, they're just hanging out, and ooh, new love interest for like Yuji, wow. And then it goes straight into Mekamaru versus Mahito, which I think is a good. I like the fight. I like it a lot. It's just right after Hidden Inventory, you just can't fucking. It's sort of like it was all right. I cared about him a little bit, but it wasn't like fucking. It was no Hidden Inventory, and it's not. any of the fights that happen after. It's sort of unfortunate that this happened in between such like peak fights and then peak storytelling. I think like it does sort of force you to be sad. It's like, oh yeah, he wants to see everybody, like he just wants to be friends with people, like he didn't mean like for it to go this way, but like he fucking lost. And I think it is way sadder actually at the end of Shibuya with Miwa and like the like his pre-recorded message. Like that was way sadder than like his actual death. But anyways, it's time to get into it. So it still doesn't get fully into it even when we get to Shibuya. We still have like the Locust fight and Mei Mei and we get an introduction to Wee Wee, I guess. But who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that at all. Like the Locust fight doesn't matter. Like I'm smart. Who cares? We get then we get the Gojo fight and him getting sealed. Now this was also fucking awesome. The fight in and of itself was sick, and like him killing Hanami. We like keep seeing like Gojo, and this isn't and this is back in season 1. Like he keeps destroying and winning, and then we finally get to see this showdown against him and both of the disaster curses, and he he sort of wins, but then he gets sealed, and he loses again, another loss, like right after Hidden Inventory. I mean, it kind of now he does lose in Hidden Inventory, but it is so interesting to see this entire time Gojo being built up as the strongest, and then he loses, and then he loses again, and then later on. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, that's when I feel Shibuya really kicks off. Is as soon as Gojo gets sealed, and then it's like, okay, now hell's gonna break loose. We then have the bald guy fight. Don't give a shit. And like it sort of is like, okay, cool, bald guy. Like, oh, Gojo turned the tides. Like we already fucking knew this. He like it sort of like his whole fight was just reinstating shit that we already fucking knew. Is that Gojo was so strong that he like fucking destroyed the scales of jujutsu sorcery. We already know this. We don't care. He died to a fucking pinch. Anyways, we get Toji return. Now, like, this is where it fucking picks up. And, like, from here on out, it's just event after event after event. Like, the Toji return, like, we are introduced to this guy, like, this insane man. And, like, just an insane villain that was able to beat Gojo and Geto. And then like 5 episodes, or well, I don't even know, like 6 episodes later, he's fucking back. It was probably my favorite like plot twist, like whoa, in the whole story is just like, damn, this guy is fucking back. That's crazy. But anyways, we'll get back into that later. Nanami fighting the fucking blonde ponytail guy, that was just cool to watch because he fucking sucks. Unfortunately, he didn't saves the job or finishes the job. And then after that, we have Choso fight. Now this fight, when I watched it at first, I didn't think it was too crazy or like good. Like I was like, it's good, but it's not like insane. But then on rewatch, I was like, and then also watching like season 3 and seeing more of Choso, I was like, shit, that fight was actually pretty good. And I mean, it is probably like just blood manipulation in general. I think it's just a great simple technique. It's just like, okay, he can manipulate blood, and it's sort of like he can do many, many things with it. Like he has supernova. Well, he doesn't really do that in the first fight, but like, piercing blood and scaling and all of that. Or stack, I forgot the name of it, but you know what I mean. Like, just the having a technique that doesn't just do one fucking thing is sick as hell. It's awesome. Um, and I think it's a great. I think with the rewatch, it's a great fight, especially the ending of like, oh, what? Is his brother? Like, he's sort of like the Toto shit, but not actually. Like, he is actually his brother, and that being sort of more explained later on. I kind of like I like how it is. I like Choso a lot, especially after reading the manga. Then the Dagon fight. We have the Dagon domain. That this is probably it's got to be one of my favorite like just fights. Like, God, it has the trio of. It starts off with the trio of Nanami, Maki, and Nabito, and we get to learn Nabito's technique, and they're fighting. He's getting his ass kicked, and then boom, domain expansion. Now, we've seen domains before in JJK. Like, I'm trying to think of all the other like, we had the Mahito domain, and Jogo and Gojo's domain clash or whatever. But we, like, whenever we saw a domain before, it was sort of like, okay, it happens, you lose. Like, you're in someone's domain, you fucking lose. Like, there's nothing you can fucking do. And that's how it started to look out. And then Megami shows up, and like, that in and of itself was like, oh shit, we're seeing like more breakdowns of domains and more like shit about domains, and like seeing a genuine domain fight where it was actually like fair and made sense, and it wasn't just like domain expansion you lose, was fucking amazing. I like it was so sick. And you get more into domains later in the manga, of course, but for the anime, I think this was like my favorite domain, like anything. And then we have fucking. Then they're like, okay, clear plan. We're just gonna leave the domain. We're gonna break its barrier, and then we're gonna beat the shit out of them, and we're gonna win, right? And then, boom, no, Toji shows up, and he just beats him up in his domain. I can't. It was so sick to finally see a domain like fully fleshed out, and a full fight in a domain. I think it was like a great. I think it was like the best explanation of domains in probably the whole series. Because later on in the manga, it's sort of like domain is the win con. Domain, it's like we domain and we win. But I mean, yeah, that's getting into like Gojo versus Sukuna, which is, we'll get to that later. Anyways, what else? Okay, yeah. Toji winning, beating Dagon, and then the Megami versus Toji fight, I guess, but more so just a fucking chase down. Like, that is probably, like, story wise, just one of the best parts of the whole fucking show. Him just being like, and then it ending with like, oh, your name's not Zenin, kills himself. That makes me glad. Like, it, and then finally Toji fucking done. I think that was just peak. It just didn't get much better for that, for like Megami's story. Like, and I mean, Megami didn't know it was his dad, but like, it was, God, I could talk about Toji for a long time, but we're gonna keep going. Sukuna's return, that was fucking sick. We have Jogo giving the fingers, and then, oh, I forgot about this. Him just clearing Maki, Nanami, and Naibito, just fucking clearing them out. And of course, the only person that actually died was Naibito. Maki and Nanami kind of just were, they were still alive, which thank God. But anyways, Sukuna's return. This I don't know where to begin. Like seeing Sukuna finally be, you know, at his, actually show why he's the king of curses, actually fight, Jogo and then Maharaga. Actually seeing that was so amazing because and again, it's just the build up of the show into execution. We have been built up this whole time of he's the king of curses. He damn, shit, him and Gojo, it would be a close fight, whoa, he's super fucking strong. And we do see him do shit in season 1, but it's nowhere near what we see in Shibuya. He is fucking everything up. He gets his domain out, and it's so nice to finally see that setup actually become true, actually happen. But yeah, just the Sukuna versus Maharaga fight, I think I just say this confidently, is the best fight in the show, in the anime specifically. God damn, it's just fucking amazing. You don't get much better than it. Literally does not get better than that. I think it was just a perfect example of unstoppable force versus immovable object, of adaptation and Sukuna's domain. Seeing all of that just happen, it was peak. It was amazing. And then it ending, and then Yuji being just crashing the fuck out. We get a Mahito fight, which, oh my god, I think, I mean, Sukuna versus Maharaga is the best fight, hands down. But then it is immediately followed up with the best narrative fight. Just Yuji versus Mahito, it's basically the main story, the main thing of season 1 is that Mahito is the main villain guy, and Yuji's the main character, and they are polar opposites, the you are me, I am you, all that shit. And seeing that finally come into execution is fucking, they did such a good job. And it's insane that it's a 5-episode fight, and it's just great throughout the whole thing. You do it is, and it's impactful too. A lot of shit happens during it. You have the Nanami death, you have the Kugisaki death, and the Toto clutch. Oh my god, it's amazing. Seeing Yuji finally being able to be powerful enough to do all of this shit. It's just seeing him doing all of this shit is fucking awesome, because Yuji, oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Usually it's yeah, Yuji's there, but he is teamed up with someone. And yes, he is teamed up with Toto, but after Toto is out for the count, Yuji still, finishes Mahito off, and he fucking gets that shit done. But yeah, that's it for Shibuya. We have, and then, it ends with the Kenjaku ending of Sukuna, it's the golden age again. And then all the closing statements of Gojo is sealed, and unsealing him is a crime against the higher ups. It doesn't fucking matter. I think, yeah, Shibuya, it's sort of, this is a weird comparison, but it's kind of nice to see. It's sort of nice to see them fucking lose. It's devastating, but it's where do we go now? And it's sort of a comparison to, Avengers Infinity War. I know, wild, very different things, but they have the one common link of the main guys just lost, and like Gojo specific, like Gojo lost, like everything is in shit, and there's like nothing that we can do about it, and like, and then they our characters have to figure it out, and I think this show does a good job with picking it back up in season 3. Oh, but before that, season 2, gotta say, I think it's gotta be a, I think it's gotta be a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. I think a 9, because there are some lowlights. It's not perfect through and through, but like, yeah, there are some things where it's like, okay, do we really need to do this? They could have made this fight more interesting. But all in all, I mean, you have hidden inventory, which is perfect. I think it's just a clear, solid 9 out of 10. But yeah, let's get into season 3. So after Shibuya, it's sort of like it goes back into setup mode. It's sort of like, okay, all that shit just happened. Where do we go now? And it does have that pretty sick Yuji versus Yuta like fight, if you can call it that, because it was very obvious that Yuta was going to kick his ass. But you know, it then like, and that's a pretty good pickup. And then Naoya versus Choso, like it is a very good like first 2 episodes of like, shit, okay, hell yeah, we're getting back into it. But inevitably, it does have to slow down to start explaining what the fuck they're gonna do now and what the fuck is happening right now. And that is where episode 3 comes in, where like it's just an episode of talking, which, hey, I'm fine with that. I don't care. If anything, I was chill with it, because a lot of that shit that needed to be explained, like all that shit that was explained very well. And I think it was like, it was all important. Like it wasn't just like random fucking shit. Like they weren't just filling time. But I will say, that's just not good pacing. Like that's just crazy pacing to just have an entire episode where it's like, we're gonna speed run explaining everything right now. Get your notebooks out. Like it's sort of, it goes back into season 3, kind of just goes back into setup mode for the calling game and everything after. But yeah, I think it had to slow down at some point, but I think it didn't have to slow down that much. It didn't have to like do that. I feel like it could have just sort of been explained throughout, but I understand that a lot had to be explained about the calling game before they got into it. But then that also just started to be like, okay, so we're explaining the calling game. I guess we'll just explain everything about Kenjaku. All right, we're back. Camera turned off. But anyways, yeah, I just think it could have just been made better. Like I understood a lot of shit had to be explained, but it just could have been better. But anyways, let's get on to perfect preparation. It is crazy how probably, well, there's the baseball episode. No, I think the baseball episode is worse. The second worst episode of the whole show is then immediately followed up by the best episode in the entire show. Better than Sendai. I'll die on this hill. God, perfect preparation is so amazing. Like God, where do I like fucking begin? Seeing Maki's story finally like come together. Like this whole time she's like, I hate the Zen clan, I hate my family, yada yada yada. Like, okay, do something about it. Like it's like, okay, what the fuck? How are you going to do that? And then it just being done in one episode, like, god damn it, man. Like, and it just coming out of nowhere. Like, it's not like it was expected. It just, like, it just came out of nowhere, and it all happening in one episode. You know, I cannot believe, and like how it was shown, and like it starting on that frame and then ending on the same frame, just fucking beginning to end. It is its own thing. No like cut off to a second episode. It just fucking happens. And then it's like, okay, back to Yuji and Megumi's adventures. Like, what the fuck? Like it's amazing. It's great. I cannot believe that, like, because I had no idea that that was something that happened in the fucking story at all. I don't like, to any average viewer, I don't think anybody did. And the way that they showed that in the anime was just absolutely insane. I no notes at all for perfect preparation. And then, oh yeah, Naoya fucking dying. Like this character that was like showed to be like, oh damn, like shit, this is gonna be like a new pretty bad guy. But then fucking 4 episodes and he's dead. Is God, it was so sick. Like and that just I think like JJK is so great at just subverting expectations. Like some shit's gonna happen. Like some character gets introduced, fucking dies. Like, ooh, okay, shit. After hidden inventory, shit's like going back to normal now. Shibuya incident happens. We now have a fucking 18 episode arc where there is no brakes, no stops. Fucking the brakes are broken on the car. All we can do is accelerate. I I think it's like probably the best part of JJK is that it just keeps fucking going, with the sole exception of the baseball episode and about the calling games, of course. What else? Okay, so now we go back into setup mode a little bit with the Fight Club and Hikari and shit, what's her name? Kirura? Yeah. Like with those, it sort of goes back into setup mode of like, okay, we gotta get Hikari. Let's do it. 2 episodes later, we finally got him. We got him on our side. It's sort of, I don't know. It's good. It's not bad, but it just goes into setup mode, and I think the execution of that setup mode will be pretty cool, and I'm very excited to see this. But anyways, oh yeah, Principal Yaga's story and death just being like a fucking B plot. Like what the fuck? That was amazing. I loved that so much. Sorry, damn, the cicadas are fucking loud. I'm pretty sure those are cicadas. I'm not in Japan. I'm in America. Like this is not a romance anime, I swear. But anyways, yeah, it being just a B plot is absolutely insane. But then we get into Tokyo Colony #1. We have Higuruma and like the Reggie. We'll get into Higuruma first. I think I think this was really good. I think it was no longer in setup mode. Now it was in like, okay, we were setting up this whole fucking calling game thing for like 6 episodes. Now it's time to actually fucking go into the barriers and fucking get into it. And it, flipped the script. Yuji fell from the fucking sky. Megami just, teleported into an alleyway. But anyways, like splits them up and they have to go on their own adventures. I think that was amazing. I think it was sick seeing, again, like Yuji is usually, like I said about him versus Mahito, like he's usually teamed up with someone, like he was going to be teamed up with Megami, but then it just said, no, be by yourself. And I think that's where I really like Yuji's stories, and we'll get into that later. And yeah, I think Yuji and Megami both had just great fights, just amazing peak fights in in Tokyo Colony #1, and then not to mention Higuruma's backstory, hidden inventory sort of excluded. Probably the best shown backstory in the entire show. The way it was shown and the way that it was fucking just, it was perfect. Like it didn't. It was a very long backstory to show, but the quality of the backstory was good enough to take that much time away from everything else. I think, like, yeah, it was amazing. I think, and the way it was, like, the way the animation was and the art style was, Higuruma's fucking awesome. God, what else? What else? What else? What else? Megami and Reggie fight, loved it. Absolutely amazing. I think it's probably up there in my top five because I loved Reggie's technique. That technique was awesome. And then Megami pulling out his domain and, like, you know, like doing shit. Like, it was amazing. He's known as the fucking, like, potential man. I get it. But, like, he was sick. Oh, I almost forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. My fucking goat, Takaba. The introduction. Oh my God. I don't know where to begin. And we will be talking about him later a lot. Oh my God, his technique is probably no. I think Toto's technique is still my favorite. But oh no, Megami Ten Shadows is my favorite. But God, it's up there. Like I am a sucker for the techniques when it comes to like my favorite characters and Takaba. God damn, that technique is so fucking sick. And the way that it's sort of shown a little bit in the anime and then shown a lot more in the manga is so amazing. It's so sick. And I guess it's time to talk about Sendai. Sendai, I mean, it's up there with Perfect Preparation, with it being like, the 28-minute episode. And probably some of the best fighting in the whole show, showing, finally seeing Yuta's potential, like fully, not really fully shown, but like shown a lot. You really see it fully shown in the manga, but yeah, just seeing him absolutely kick ass, and then it just being not like random motherfuckers, like the like fuck, I need a Kiroshi? Is that there's Euro and Ryu. Kiroshi, is that the name of the cockroach? I don't fucking know. But those three like guys that he was the three enemies that he was fighting were all so unique and so interesting with their techniques. I think it was one of the most like interesting and new unique fights in the whole anime of just like, okay, we have four people, well, not really, three and a half, I guess, with their own techniques, and they're all very powerful, and they like, and it's a genuine fight. Like, it's a genuine fucking, like, it's not, and that's where I think the best fights in JJK are, is that it's not just like people beating like Gojo one tapping somebody. Like, that's not the best fight. Like that, like the better fights to me are when it's like, okay, we got something going here. Like they're pretty even. Like Yuji and Mahito, like that shit's pretty even. And then Sendai, it's pretty even, except for like, Yuta of course is gonna win, but like it takes him time to like really fucking get there. And it's not like he's one tapping them, except for the cockroach. But yeah, Sendai is just great. But anyways, that's it for the anime. Oh, season 3, I think I give it like an 8 out of 10. A little bit lower. It's not season 2. Like it's, yeah, like you just can't beat that. But anyways, that's it for the anime. It's time to get into the manga. Oh my God, the sun's out. I'm wearing a new shirt. This must be a brand new day. This must be a brand new day. This must be. Last night my camera ran out of batteries, and it was just getting late, so I am returning to this recording the next day. A little bit of a time skip here, but anyways, let's get back into it. Let's talk about the manga. Now, obviously, fucking manga spoilers. If you haven't read it and you don't know anything, get out of here. But yeah, We have, Volume 21, picking up right after Sendai. We have Hakari and Kashima, aka, Tokyo Colony number 2. Now, I will say this is my first time ever reading a manga, just period. So I had to sort of get used to the difference between watching an anime and reading a manga. And boy, oh boy, there is a big difference. It is, obviously less immersion than watching an anime. It was definitely a change. It was definitely different. I wouldn't say it was like worse, but it's just a different experience. But I am glad that I did it so that I wasn't spoiled on what's going to come out in the anime probably like 4 years from now. It's probably going to be another 2 seasons. So, anyways, let's get into it. And I will say it is a hard read with Hakari's technique being as confusing as it is. It was definitely difficult to for it to be the first thing I've ever read. Because goddamn, what a technique! I mean, it's cool. I like it, and I understand it. It makes sense, but like it is confusing and weird and strange and do I even fully explain, like, do I even fully understand like the heightened luck or like the heightened probability? No. It all I understand is that and I think all you need to understand is that he hits jackpot. All he needs to do is hit jackpot, and then it's like, ooh, yay, 4 minutes, 11 seconds of invincibility. I feel like that's all that you need to know because, like, it's based on, I don't know if it's a real pachinko game based on like a real, like, anime. I don't know. But it is super confusing, but it was an interesting fight. It was nice. And then there is, Kashimo's character, which is a bit interesting, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, Tokyo Colony number 2. I think it was good. The fight was interesting enough for me to be like, okay, this is cool. But I definitely had to reread a shit ton. Oh, and then there was like the author, I guess, but he was, I don't know, I didn't really care. I feel like the whole point of that fight was just to be like, okay, we're going to explain Hikari's domain and technique before he gets to Kashimo. But anyways, yeah, and then Panda's story, like him losing the rest of his cores, that was pretty sad. I don't think I mentioned Panda once this entire video, but Panda's awesome. Panda's great. I feel like that's just fork found in kitchen, basic opinion. I don't know if there's any Panda haters, but yeah, that I liked it. It was definitely a different change of pace and very difficult to like really get into, but I got it. Then next up we have Volume 22 with Cursed Naoya versus Maki and Kamo. Yeah, his name was Kamo. This was also interesting, but I liked it. I think I liked it more than Kashimo because obviously, fucking love Maki. And Naoya coming back was super interesting and cool. And it totally made sense. You know, fucking like sorcerers die usually to cursed energy, but then him coming back because Mikey didn't kill him with cursed energy. I'm sort of glossing over more of the details, but basically that's all you need to know. I really liked it, and just we love a run back fight. Gojo and Toji like destroying Gojo, then Gojo getting the comeback, and then Naoya coming back, and then using a domain. I really liked it, and then the sumo and katana guy, like those, that was sick. Just them showing up and like the sumo guy being like sumo, like I loved it. I really liked this fight. Um, and then what else happened in this volume? It was Kamo had like a conversation with Kenjaku, I think. I didn't really give two shits about that. I didn't really care. Um, and then there was at the end of this, the angel conversation, which I don't know about my thoughts and feelings about the angel. I am sort of just chill about the angel. It really, I feel like it pushes the angel a lot for you to care about the angel. Like, they have the backstory with Megami or something, and, they want to, like, save Megami and, like, and then I don't know, and I necessarily don't really care too much because Takaba is in the conversation as well. I think it was cool. I think it was, and then it gets into the next volume with 23 of all of the soldiers coming in. I really liked that a lot, and then Kenjaku being in the White House. Having like the conversation with the president or whatever about just sending soldiers. And I think that was really cool because I think the calling game wasn't really fully like explained that well. Well, no, it was explained well, but it wasn't like fully explained. Like there was some stuff left out, and like it wasn't like we didn't understand fully why he was doing this. Like we got the Tengen part, but didn't understand it. But when with the conversation with the at the White House and uh, the military being sent in, it was like, okay, he just needs a shit ton of cursed energy, so he's just going to traumatize all these soldiers, and do all of that, which I thought was awesome. And then like him showing off at the White House, that was sick. I like that a lot. And then we have Yuki and Choso versus Kenjaku. Now, this is a very interesting fight because it's two people that we haven't really seen actually fight that well, like that much. Like we've never seen Yuki fight, and we've never seen Kenjaku really fight. So this was sort of a wild card fight where we just didn't know what the hell was going to happen. These characters that have been built up for so long, we have no idea what's going to happen. And Choso's kind of just there. And I mean, he does support it very narratively, like like the fuck. I really liked his part of in the flashbacks with Tengen with the like live as a human. I loved that. Made me like Choso even more, and it's kind of unfortunate that this is sort of the last we see of Choso being really important with the Shinjuku showdown, him kind of just being there. Oh well, that happens. Him sacrificing himself happens as well. But back to Yuki and Kinjaku. This is sort of, I don't know. It was a very weird and strange fight, even weirder than Kashimo and Hakari. Then it was kind of like, okay, I guess I guess that like it happened. Like I don't know what to say. Like she like the Shikigami was cool, like with the mass and everything. But then with the black hole and then him being like, actually anti-gravity is my technique. Like I don't know. It was sort of strange and weird and kind of just happened. And I think the only thing that was really important that came out of it was Choso Choso's story and that happening, and then Yuki dying. It was like, okay, all right, he has Tengen now, I guess. I sort of was like, okay, it just happened. um, and I think that's all about this phone. Does it end on that? Yeah, it does. Next up, we're back to the Angel and all of them, and then we have Sukuna actually being here and taking control of Megami. Now that that I actually was spoiled on before I read it because it's kind of all over the place. Um, but anyway, like that was a very I think they did it well. I think it had the looming like him making the pact with Yuji since season one, and it happening the way it did was very interesting, and I think it sort of had to happen. And again, with the Angels like contribution to it, it really wants us. It really wanted like the reader to care, but I just didn't. I just didn't care that much, really. It was cool, and it is nice, but the angel kind of just shows up, and it takes time for at least me to give a shit about a character, um, and yeah, and then like Sukuna getting away. Did I say Kenjaku earlier? I think I said Sukuna. I don't know. But anyway, Sukuna getting away and then setting up for Sukuna versus Gojo, obviously, was sick. And then after that, we sort of have the very big slowdown of like the like bath or whatever. I don't it just made sure that Sukuna took control of Megami's body. I didn't really fully understand it. It kind of just happened. Um, and then Kajaku with the rules, it was sort of just like, okay, we're slowing down a lot here. And this is really big setup mode for everything that's going to happen after. And then, oh yeah, and then we have Yorozu. Seeing the, God, what is it? Construction, the configure technique. I don't know what Mai's technique was. Seeing that actually be like, okay, not just making gun and bullet. Like, oh shit. Like, I thought that was very cool. Her actual character and her being like love, like Sukuna, I love you, and like all of this. I didn't really care about. I feel like it was sort of just there. And I mean, it is more of Sukuna's backstory and more of like his story. I wouldn't really say character development because bro doesn't really develop at all. He's sort of just a static fucking. He just wants to be the strongest. That's it. But yeah, I thought that fight was really cool. And seeing Ten Shadows technique finally, like, actually fully, like, seeing more of the Shikigami come out, I thought that was fucking awesome. I love that because Ten Shadows is my favorite technique. I love the concept of Shikigami and, of course, Maharaga. And yeah, I thought the fight was really cool, but, like, narratively, I was like, okay, cool, I guess. All right. And then we sort of just get straight into Gojo getting unsealed. No, yeah, Gojo getting unsealed, and all of that happening. Him just showing up at Kenjaku and Sukuna, and then it just going right into Gojo versus Sukuna. It just happens. There is no like fucking like what do you like? No, there's no real buildup in between Gojo versus Sukuna and Gojo getting unsealed, and I think that's very interesting. Like again, JJK subverting expectations, and then like all of the buildup happening in between. I think that was very interesting with that pacing, and I liked it a lot. But anyways, so Gojo versus Sukuna. Now this fight, oh God, where do I even begin with this fight? It's very strange. Of like, okay, we got we got just domain clash after domain clash after domain clash, and then a adaptation to Megami's soul is happening. Like all of this shit just happening, and all of these explanations happening just now, of like more shit about domains, and then I think I don't think it was bad. I think it was good, but it was just very all over the place, and I had to reread almost like every page that I was reading, explaining like everything about domains and the difference between the borderless domain and the bordered domain. It was strange. It was sort of hard to follow, but I mean, I did understand it. I don't know about fully understanding it, but I did get it. But there isn't much to say. I feel like the Sukuna Gauntlet versus all the sorcerers is a lot more interesting, at least for me, personally, was a lot more interesting than Gojo versus Sukuna, because I was sort of like, okay, I got it, I get it. And I mean, it was nice seeing that all of this built up. It was probably one of the most built up things, was like Gojo being the strongest and Sukuna being the strongest. It's time for them to fight. It was nice to see that happen. I'm just, like I said, this was my first time ever reading a manga versus watching an anime. And I think once this gets animated, I'm going to give a lot more of a shit. But just reading it and being like, okay, this happens, okay, this happens, okay, now we're going to hear a passage from what's his name? He's Kusakabe. It's just a lot of shit. It just happening. That's sort of how fights sort of are in manga. Is like you just read it and it's like, okay, at least for me, this is for me. I just read it and I'm like, okay, that's what happened. It's sort of hard for me to get very hyped up for just the pages, but I am very excited to see it get animated. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do it. Probably like 4 or 5 years from now, and that's being like generous. But yeah, Gojo losing. That was I think I really liked that a lot. Like Gojo losing, and the the nod to Hidden Inventory about him being in the airport. I couldn't ask for a better like Gojo passing on like that. I liked that a lot. Seeing everybody again was amazing. But I guess that's it about Gojo versus Sukuna. It's time to get into the gauntlet. Oh, never mind. We have Takaba versus Kenjaku. Now this is probably my favorite manga fight, like a hands down. This shit was insane. I think the way, and you can be like, narratively, why did Kenjaku just we wanted more from him? I don't give a shit. I thought the pairing of Takaba and Kenjaku was perfect. The whole reason of Kenjaku doing the calling game and literally just everything that he does is like, just I am interested to see what happens. Like I thought it, like literally, like I thought it would be funny. And then being paired with Takaba and his technique, oh my god, it was peak. And seeing just Takaba's backstory during the fight. Now I'm not a a crazy, insane ball knower that understood all of the jokes. Like, I'm not going to say, oh my god, I was laughing my ass off because I understood all of these niche Japanese comedian jokes. Like that's I mean I wish I knew ball like that, but I'm not gonna put the time and effort into it. I'm just gonna watch a video about it, which I'll put in the top right here. But anyways, I thought the fight was just super interesting, and I liked it a lot. And seeing Takaba's technique just fully change how a fight worked. I cannot wait to see this animated. I'm very excited. Um, but yeah, no, and then Yuta just finishing him off. I thought it was a super normal way for like it kind of had to happen because all of the good fights and all the crazy shit was sort of saved for Sukuna, and if Kenjaku sort of forced his way into having some of the spotlight and being part of the fights and having like some of the crazy fights. I just don't know. I think it was better to just have Kenjaku have his own thing and then have his own ending, and then it come back into Sukuna. Um, I thought that was very well done, and I liked it a lot. But anyways, now it's time to get into the fucking gauntlet. Um, we have Higuruma showing up. We find like just all of this buildup of not only the Culling games, but the entire series of just everything with Yuji, just like everything coming together and just to fight Sukuna was amazing. Like seeing Higuruma like be oh fuck I forgot Kashimo was the first, um, and I just didn't really care. I like it just happened in what I don't even know 2 chapters and not maybe not even I don't know. Um, it kind of just happened, and I'm not gonna be like Kashimo's a bum or oh my god, like I just didn't care. Um, it just did not really matter to me. I think what happens after mattered so much more, and like I get it, like the strongest, like that's his whole thing. I just did not give two shits. But anyways, we have Higuruma finally, like having the spotlight, and then I just him getting fucked up, not dying, but getting fucked up. I think it was really well, like just written, um, and I think it just one thing happening after another. It I think it was very well paced, and then it like slowing down sometimes for all of the what's it called? Like the preparing for fighting Sukuna, like the flashbacks to everything that happened between Gojo getting unsealed and then the Shinjuku showdown. I think that was a very interesting and very well made, paced way of showing this off because obviously they needed a lot of setup for this, and I think just cutting that off and then sprinkling it here and there during the gauntlet, I think that was perfect. I loved that so much. Like it was like, okay, we're fighting Sukuna, not just having a narrator like the omnipotent or like the voice of the narrator say what the fuck is going on, but just having those cuts to flashbacks, I really like that a lot, and the body switching, everything with that, it was sick. I loved that so much. I and then seeing and then Yuta like seeing him be like, okay, this is Yuta's Yuta's full potential, um, his domain, him taking over Gojo. It was amazing. I have no notes on the gauntlet at all. I think that went. I think that was very well paced and went very well. And then the ending of it with Kugisaki showing up. I mean, I do think it was a bit like with like Kugisaki having a fake, not even like a fake out death, just it being up in the air with the anime. I don't know how it is shown in the manga. I don't know how they're going to show it off in the anime, like with her return. I guess she kind of just shows up again. That I think is sort of like I mean I get it, it's the plot twist, but like it's a plot twist, but I think it just could have been done better. Um, I don't know. I feel like they didn't have to have Kugisaki be out of it. I don't know. When it comes to fake out deaths, I feel like if you're gonna kill a character off, just kill the character off. As a Resident Evil fan, uh, I really like. I don't know. I just wish when somebody dies, they stay dead. Because I think it kind of just sucks as a consumer of like, okay, okay, they're back, I guess. Like, yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that in the anime. I don't know how they're gonna show that. I don't think there is any way to show it any differently. I think they're just gonna do it the same as they did in the manga of just like, okay, she's back just to do this one hit to Sukuna, and then that's it. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think that is a little bit of a problem for me. Like, I just feel like Kugisaki is so sick, and like her just being out of it for probably going to be 3 seasons. Well, she is sort of in season 2, but her getting taken out in season 2, being out of all of the culling games, and then showing up in Shinjuku, it kind of is. It's interesting, and I don't know. I just don't like it. I just wish there was more Kugisaki, I guess. Um, but anyways, getting to the end of the gauntlet with the last volume with uh, Yuji, I forgot his name, with Yuji's sort of, what would you call it? It's not, he did unlock his domain, but the conversation that he has with Sukuna in that like dream world, I guess, um, was fucking amazing. I loved that so much. Seeing the last interaction with Yuji and Sukuna right before Sukuna gets uh, beaten, I think was just so sick. Just seeing Yuji's last attempt to be like, hey, Sukuna, like, let's all be friends, and like, well, not like that, but like, you know what I mean. Like, let's like talk this out and work this out. Giving him his last chance, and then Sukuna being like, nah, I'm good. Um, I think was just the last send off that I think Sukuna and Yuji's story needed. Sorry, my camera ran out of battery there. Had to switch it out. Anyways, the ending of the show, I think it was just a normal ass ending for any anime slash manga. It was just like, okay, our trio, our main characters, just live happily ever after, and you know, uh, that's they go on their little missions here and there. I think it was sort of weird that like long ass just explanation of all the shit that just happened, sort of like being like it could have gone better, like we could have done this. I feel like it was kind of just like, okay, man, just end it. Like I did not really care for that at all. Um, and also sort of, I don't know, it was and also during the gauntlet with I said I liked the sprinkling of the build up and the training. That's the word I was looking for. The training arc leading into the gauntlet. I did like that. But sometimes some of them I was like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Like with Kusakabe and like who's the strongest grade 1 sorcerer, and everyone's like it's Kusakabe, and this other guy that is not shown at all, not even a little bit. I feel like it was sort of just I don't know. It's JJK. I feel like some parts are explained and shown off that don't need to be explained slash shown off, and some parts are just not really fully explained that well, and you kind of just have to gloss over it and just move on and just accept that what is happening is happening. And I think that's sort of my overarching thoughts of JJK is that, some shit's just gonna fucking happen and you gotta accept that, and you don't really have to fully understand it. You just keep going. And some parts, it's like, okay, who cares? Who gives a shit? Sort of with like Kashimo, I guess, of like, he shows up and all of this and this and that, and then he gets destroyed in 2 chapters. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's sort of it's sort of something that I think the anime. I'm interested to see what they might leave out or what they might add in the anime when it comes out in 100 years. But yeah, I guess for JJK as a whole, I would give it a 8.5 out of 10. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think the anime, like once the anime comes out, I'm very excited to see all of this shit animated, and I think that might boost my rating. Them maybe fixing, but also possibly fucking it up. They could fuck it up. It could happen, but I don't see that. Like seeing how they adapted, season 3, like I think I would be very surprised if they backpedal and fuck up the uh, uh, adapting all of the rest of the manga. Um, but yeah, I think overall, the anime and the manga, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I am very excited to see the rest of it be animated and all that. But yeah, that's it for JJK. Oh yeah, the Modulo, I don't really look into that. Earth sorcery is very advanced. I don't fucking know. Anyways, yeah, that's it. I might do a video going further in depth to the characters, maybe doing like a character tier list possibly. Um, but that's it for today. That's it for just the overarching story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.